I know that spiritually we should comfort the part of us that feels lonely and know that we are never alone because we are all connected, right? We are one. We are loved by God. Therefore, spiritually, ideally, we should never feel lonely. But the truth is that as humans, we are wired for connection. We are wired for community and for intimacy. And that need is even deeper for those of us who are highly sensitive, empath, neurodivergent, and feel everything so sharply. So for us, the absence of connection, of community, of intimacy is felt so deeply that it is sometimes almost unbearable, to such a degree that if we're honest, even if we're not suicidal, once in a while, I think we all feel like death would be kind of a relief. Hello, beautiful. How are you doing today? If you're a highly sensitive person, there's a really good chance that you feel lonely. And that's partly due to the fact that for many reasons, we tend to isolate. We isolate because the world is too hard. We isolate because the world is too loud, because the world is too harsh, because the world is too inauthentic, too unkind, too cruel. The noise of the plane is too much for us, and we'd rather isolate where there's no noise. Okay, yeah, world too loud. Just as I was saying, we also tend to isolate because, frankly, some people would rather not have us around them. Why? Because our depth is too much for a lot of people. Because our intensity is too much sometimes. Because our inability to be like other people makes us stand out, and that's not always comfortable. Because our point of view when we express ourselves tends to push people out of their comfort zone, and not too many people like that. Our intolerance for fakeness bothers people even when we don't speak, because they can feel it. And that feels invasive, because the way we see through the surface is disturbing to a lot of people, because many of them would rather stay on the surface. In the same way, our ability to cut through the BS bothers people because it gives them nowhere to hide. And let's be honest, we tend to be socially awkward. Wow, so many planes. All of this is to say that many of us live a very isolated life. I know I do. And sometimes it gets very painfully lonely. I know that spiritually we should comfort the part of us that feels lonely and know that we are never alone because we are all connected, right? We are one. We are loved by God. Therefore, spiritually, ideally, we should never feel lonely, and we should find ways to heal that part of us. But the truth is that as humans, we are wired for connection. That's scientifically proven. And I don't just mean divine connection. I mean connection among us, amongst living things. We are wired for community and for intimacy. And that need is even deeper for those of us who are highly sensitive, empath, neurodivergent, and feel everything so sharply. So for us, the absence of connection, of community, of intimacy is felt so deeply that it is sometimes almost unbearable, to such a degree that if we're honest, even if we're not suicidal, once in a while, I think we all feel like death would be kind of a relief. These ideas came to me today because there is this beautiful meme going around these days, and it's an excerpt of the 2004 movie Shall We Dance with Susan Sarandon. In it, she gives her opinion as to why people get married. And for the purpose of the ideas in this video, we can broaden the idea of marriage to those of connection, community, and intimacy. I'm going to read it to you. Why do people get married? Because we need a witness to our lives. There's 1 billion people on the planet. I mean, what does anyone's life really mean? But in a marriage, you're promising to care about everything. The good things, the bad things, the terrible things, the mundane things. All of it, all the time, every day. You're saying your life will not go unnoticed because I will notice it. Your life will not go unwitnessed because I will be your witness. That's why our loneliness feels unbearable. Why it is so hard for people to be lonely, not just highly sensitive people. But I think that our loneliness as highly sensitive people, because our sensitivity as a purpose, like I talked about in my previous video, the purpose of being a bridge to a new consciousness. So when we are isolated, unwitnessed, well, we feel like we are not fulfilling our purpose. So there are 2 things I want to leave you. 1, I share your pain, and therefore it is understandable. And we must know that there is nothing wrong with us when we feel the pain of loneliness. 2, if we don't have deep human connections in our lives, there are some palliative measures that we can take. I think palliative is the right word. If it's not the right word, I think you can surmise what it is that I mean it to mean. Because we have to find ways to connect with the world. And we have to find ways to do that, no matter the scale, not only as the gift to the world, but because that energy needs to circulate within us. Because if it doesn't, it will stay stagnant and it will create blocks, and it makes our lives and our health more difficult. So find recipients for your sensitivity and your feelings. I find it in nature. That's where I give all of who I am and receive from life and from the natural world in a way where there is this amazing circulation. When I'm in nature, I love every little blade of grass, every little twisted twig, every little bug that's walking on the ground, every big tree that I'll hug, every rock that I'll tell what a beautiful shape it has. That's what's important, that expression, that flow. And a lot of people do it with pets too. Animals are a great recipient for our love and our sensitivity. These are live things that can receive our love without judgment and give it right back to us. So, my darling HSPs, we're here and we're in this together. And even within our lives of loneliness, let's remember that our sensitivity has a purpose, and to make sure to bring it out into the world as much as possible in any way we can, because the world needs it. The world needs us just as we are. So if you know people who you think or know are lonely, share this video, drop them a line, drop in and see them, send them a little bit of love. We could all use it. And you can also grab a copy of my book, because it's going to be a wonderful companion to your loneliness, because you'll stop being lonely as you read about the life of somebody who is a lot like you. So I want to make one exciting announcement. I'm truly excited about this. I am collaborating with another HSP speaker, and we are teaming up together to create a HSP summit in December. It's going to be 5 days of live Zoom call conversations, and the dates are December 16th to the 20th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. The website is thehspsummit.com. This week, the landing page will be active for you to sign up and register, and you can read more about this exciting week that we are going to have together to end the year and start the new one with more love and more compassion and more joy and more fun, because my conversations with Michael are fun. So, see you there. The HSP Summit, coming soon near you. Know that I love you, and I will see you soon. Today, as you're watching this, I'm actually at a book signing event at Barnes & Noble in Scottsdale, and I will post in the community tab of the channel after it's done. See you soon. Bye. Have a great week.